This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Thanks for joining us here for the news at 7. I'm Mark Mullins.
I'm Amanda Starantino. As more Hoosiers get tested for COVID-19, the number of cases is increasing. Today, the Marion County Public Health Department opened up a new testing site at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Testing will be available there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Another testing site opens tomorrow at Warren Central High School. People with coronavirus symptoms, those who might have been exposed to the virus, and frontline workers can get tested for free by making an appointment.
With more than 230,000 tests conducted in Indiana, a little less than 14% of those have been positive. 1,850 people have died from COVID-19.
And the pandemic has changed the way many companies are operating right now. That includes one of the state's largest hunger relief nonprofits, which is now feeding twice as many families. RTV6's Stephanie Wade shows us how organizations are coming together to help Hoosiers rebound and get through the crisis.
Indiana National Guardsman Diana never imagined she'd be putting an apron on and cooking in a kitchen as part of her duties. But she, along with other guardsmen, were deployed by Governor Holcomb to Second Helpings and other community food providers to assist in any way needed as part of the state's coronavirus response.
What do you think about doing this during this time in a pandemic?
I feel great. Helping others. I would never thought I would be doing this, honestly, even in the Guard.
The need we see now is unlike anything we've ever seen before. There are so many people and households who are food insecure and struggling, facing unemployment and uncertain when they're going to get a paycheck again.
The CEO of Second Helpings says their resources are stretched. The staff is split into 2 different shifts to turn out 2 times the need at food banks, shelters, and senior centers. Recognizing the need, companies like Kroger,
$200,000, Jen,
are making huge contributions to support them at this time.
And we're really grateful to Kroger and so many others who have stepped up in this crisis to make sure that Second Helpings could continue to address the demand and never have to say no to somebody who needed our help.
Ensuring no one goes hungry. Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And taking a live look outside right now from our Pagoda camera, looking at downtown, some clear skies. But Kevin, we know some changes are on the way.
And we've got a few isolated thunderstorms now, and the promise of that change that you mentioned, Amanda, much cooler air, lower humidity, that's down the line later in the week. Let's talk about these thunderstorms. Not all of the areas of rain popping up produced lightning. Just wanted to mention that. It is warm and humid. As we look in Marion County, see what's hiding just between Speedway and Indianapolis? Just developing. Little downpour there. Another will come in, just west of Greenwood into southwest Marion County. We'll zip to the south. There's a downpour near Morgantown, headed toward Martinsville and eventually Mooresville if they hold together. The larger view, the hit and miss showers and thunder showers, I think they'll probably stay isolated until about 11 o'clock tonight. 79 the temperature in Indy now, when the humidity drops out, and what the weekend will look like coming up.
We'll see you soon, Kevin. Thank you for that. A construction project is taking center stage in honor of 2 teenage girls who were killed in Carroll County. We are getting our first look at the amphitheater coming together at the site of the Abby and Libby Memorial Park in Delphi. The project is meant to remember Abby Williams and Libby German. The teenage girls were killed in February of 2017. Their killer has yet to be arrested. The Memorial Park will include softball fields and a place for families to enjoy music and other artistic events.
The rescheduled Indiana primary election is less than a week away, but early voting is underway and many are voting by mail due to health and safety concerns. In Washington Township and Marion County, voters will decide whether to agree to more taxes for local schools. Some say it is the wrong time to raise taxes with so much uncertainty, but supporters say the funds are necessary to improve student safety, teacher pay, and protect property values. Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny breaks down what it means for you.
Washington Township Schools is asking taxpayers to vote yes to $418 million. Here's how that breaks down. For the average homeowner, that's $32 a month extra on their property taxes. Vote yes or vote no. Taxpayers in Washington Township have a decision to make. Anthony Dean is a coach, parent, and teacher.
And I think the referendum would provide the necessary support, financial support, in order for us as teachers to do our job. Again, in order for our facilities to be upgraded.
Washington Township will have 2 questions on the ballot. An operating referendum, $16 million a year for 8 years. It would fund existing and new positions like school police officers, bus drivers, teachers, and athletic staff, and would also include $1.5 million to boost teacher pay. The second question, a $285 million construction referendum. The money would in part be used for improving and renovating athletic facilities, expanding student learning spaces, replacing HVAC and electrical systems, and improving access for those with disabilities. The construction referendum would include a new gym honoring Paul Logan, the North Central athletic director who died from coronavirus in April.
There's a need for upgrades in our buildings. We have to provide safety for our students. We have to provide technology for our students to use. We have to keep our teachers on staff. We have to provide support staff for our students as well. All of those will be impacted if this referendum doesn't pass.
But some say with so many taxpayers out of work and the uncertainty surrounding schools reopening, they say it's the wrong time to raise taxes.
It's a terrible time to plan to spend $285 million on buildings when you don't know if you're going to have to switch to distance learning in the near future.
Carrie Manders points out the district passed a referendum in 2016, but the district says due to rising construction costs, that money did not meet all the district's needs.
The whole referendum should be put off until, this situation's over. They should take a new look at their budget. They should really take a fresh look at the whole referendum.
Critics say most taxpayers do not have kids in the district, and many are on fixed incomes, stretched thin because of the pandemic. But supporters say a yes vote protects everyone's property values. Reporting in Washington Township, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
And critics have written state lawmakers asking them to postpone the referendum vote until the fall. If you want to see how the referendum would impact you, check out this story at theindychannel.com.
President Trump is continuing his push for states to reopen. Tonight, there are more signs that parts of American life are returning to normal as the country creeps closer to 100,000 coronavirus deaths. ABC's Alexa Prescia has more tonight from Washington.
More signs of America reopening. New Jersey's governor giving the green light for high schools to hold outdoor graduations starting July 6th.
The steps we are taking are necessary to ensure the health and safety of everyone in attendance, but we are equally as confident that no one will ever forget the way we will celebrate the class of 2020.
In New York, Governor Cuomo ringing the bell of the New York Stock Exchange. The trading floor reopening for the first time since late March, but at only around 25% capacity, part of a promising trend for the state.
Number of new COVID cases down to the lowest level since this ever started.
President Trump continuing his push to reopen America, tweeting for states to open up ASAP, though his own federal guidelines say it should happen gradually. All of this follows a weekend of huge holiday crowds. And while many cities reported beachgoers following guidelines, there were also images like this packed pool at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, people not wearing masks or social distancing. As the country's coronavirus death toll is approaching 100,000, at least 14 states and Puerto Rico are still reporting increases in new COVID cases. And now, new data on the counties hit hardest, FEMA listing the top 10 it calls high burden or growing. 2 are near Montgomery, Alabama.
We've had over a 240% increase. It's too soon. I think the data shows that, and I think that's why we're in this position that we're in right now. We have to make sure that we are being guided by the data and not the dollars.
4 of the counties on that FEMA list had outbreaks at meatpacking plants. Another had an outbreak at a federal prison. Alex Prescia, ABC News, Washington.
And still ahead on the news at 7, all eyes are on Kennedy Space Center, where weather could delay tomorrow's historic launch. We have the latest update from NASA.
But first, a look at what funding for diabetes research means to local families.
Just search RTV6. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Welcome back. In just a few weeks, the annual Tour de Cure for diabetes is taking place in Indiana. The event raising thousands of dollars for the American Diabetes Association. RTV6's Kelsey Anderson shows you how contributions can help families dealing with diabetes locally.
When you donate to the Tour de Cure event, you are donating to diabetes research and aiding the American Diabetes Association and helping those who are fighting the disease. But 17-year-old Jessie Hall says the money you donate does so much more.
So I'm going on 10 years of being a diabetic.
When Jessie Hall was 7, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. She says her family didn't know much about the disease, so they got involved with the ADA.
As kind of like a safe place, you know, because I didn't know anyone who had type 1 diabetes, even remotely close to me.
She says through the ADA, she learned about their annual summer camp.
It's so amazing. I started going, obviously, when I was in 2nd grade, and I've gone ever since.
Hall tells me, along with making lifelong friends, the camp showed her at a very young age she wasn't alone in her battle against type 1 diabetes.
I struggled with that a lot because there's no one when I was little in my hometown that had this. And so seeing a bunch of other people and being so close with them and being able to relate to them more than you can relate to anyone else that you're around is so awesome.
Her passion for the camp is just one reason she's involved in Tour de Cure.
And I know that there are kids out there that can't, or that are not as fortunate as I was to be able to go. And so it is very close to my heart to be able to raise money for kids who cannot afford to go, to be able to go.
And she hopes even though the event is different this year, you'll still participate.
Just don't let the circumstances change what would normally happen. Just get out, stay active, do your part.
The Tour de Cure event will take place virtually this year on June 6th. They'll be live streaming a lot of different things over on Facebook Live. Hall and all the other participants hope that you'll still join them. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Thank you, Kelsey. Warmest temperatures this week are now behind us. You can see the cooling trend. We'll talk about the coolest temperatures coming up.
Order today at WeatherTech.com.
For the first time in nearly a decade, NASA astronauts are getting ready to launch into space from U.S. soil. The launch of the SpaceX Crew Dragon is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 2 NASA astronauts will be on board. This is the first time a crew will travel on a SpaceX spacecraft. And this is a live look at the launch pad right now. You can see it's a cloudy day at Cape Canaveral. Florida has been dealing with some stormy weather that could delay the launch, but NASA's last update says there's a 60% chance of favorable conditions. Kevin, keeping an eye on that.
90 degrees there tomorrow, and they've been in the pattern. Florida always has daily afternoon thunderstorms that develop, nearly always. I mean, it's pretty common, so we'll wait and see how that works out. Our chance for thunderstorms is there for the next few days, and then a nearly perfect weekend. Now, I don't know what your scenario of perfect is, but you can compare what you envision with the forecast in a minute. 88 in Lafayette, 77 in Columbus, 79 in Indy, where the clouds at least cover up the sunshine, if not the downpour. You get a good 10-degree drop in temperatures from nearby thunderstorms. We'll zoom into Marion County. 77 in Plainfield, while it's 87 in Castleton. There's a short distance and a big temperature change, and this is why. See your shower just to the east of Eagle Creek, north of Speedway at 465 and 65 interchange on the northwest side. South of Greenfield toward New Pal, a little downpour there. Then Morgan County near Mooresville. We slide to the south. This has been weakening. In other words, these pulse up. They produce heavy rain, and as soon as you're getting the downpour, it's starting to collapse. But then that cooler air that flows out from the area of rain will develop additional showers and maybe a brief thunderstorm. As far as what's going to happen this evening, we'll continue with isolated thunderstorms. The bigger change comes late in the week into the weekend. Much cooler for the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast, while it will be near record warmth in the Southwest as the heat jumps to 110 and above in Phoenix. 72 for us Saturday, 73 Sunday. That's part of the story. The other part of the story, the morning comfort. Temperatures in the low 50s Sunday and Monday. Well, we have to get there first. Temperatures 81 tomorrow. Chance for thunderstorms starts earlier in the day tomorrow, and we'll hold on to the chance through the afternoon hours. Temperature 75 by midday. Afternoon high temperature right around 81 degrees. 7-day forecast want you to see this. Temperatures are consistently cooler first because of the clouds and rain. That's Thursday and Friday. Friday, a cold front will come through. That opens the door to much less humid air. So drier atmosphere, temperatures really stretch out from morning low to afternoon high. A good 20 to 25 degree jump from around 50 to 73 on Sunday. Still in the 50s Monday and Tuesday morning. But more importantly, it looks like we're establishing a little bit of a dry stretch after having this daily chance for showers and thunder showers around for so long.
That weekend looks perfect, Kevin. Looking forward to that. Thank you. Historic buildings across central Indiana serve as focal points for their neighborhoods. On the Near East Side of Indianapolis, one coffee shop has become so much more for the people who live nearby. RTV6's Brad Brown explains tonight.
There are hundreds of places to get a cup of coffee in Indianapolis, but few have the charm and history of the Needhammer building on the city's Near East Side.
People come in, they come with their masks, they come in, but they want the coffee, they want friendship, they want some normalcy. It's the way life is right now, and so we put on a good face, we talk to people, and we try to be encouraging.
The building itself dates back well over a century. The owners have maintained many of those elements with the coffee shop, neighboring Ash and Elm Cider Company, and the upstairs event space that overlooks the city.
We love it when people come in here, and some of the things we've heard are, it feels like home. We love it when people say that. We tell our couples that we want them to feel like their family put on their wedding. So same environment, absolutely welcome, full of hospitality and care.
A carefully crafted coffee menu features daily and weekly specials. And the crepes coming off the griddle are just as well assembled.
Kind of create a small economy where you could do a lot of life here. And that's our mission. That's what we turn the lights on to do, and that's what we love to do.
The Needhammer Group have also put together Indy's Table, helping feed families in need. Working with their catering partners and Westminster Neighborhood Services, they've raised more than $17,000 and delivered 2,000 meals this month alone.
Well, it starts with the heart already for our community, that we want to make a difference and see the people around us thrive. And knowing that this is going to be a hard time in this area of the city, thought of a way that we could give back.
So it's much more than just a place to get a cup of coffee. This has become a central part of an up-and-coming area of the Circle City.
I think it's existed because people with a passion for it, and that we're not just coming in punching a clock, collecting a check. We're coming in because we're driven by mission. I think that passion transfers to our clients and our customers as well.
Working for you on the Near East Side, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Needhammer is open 7 days a week for carry-out coffee and crepes, 10 to 2 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 2 on Sundays. You can order ahead online. For more information or about making a donation to Indy's Table, you can visit their Facebook page for the link. We'll be right back after this.
Victoria Sparks, and I approve this message.
Business restrictions and safety measures to stop the spread of coronavirus have changed the way many of us spend money. For some, that's a good thing. About half the participants in a new study by TD Ameritrade said they're saving money right now. Of those people, many said the savings are coming from cooking at home, not paying for childcare, and not going on vacation. Others report spending more on groceries, streaming services, and cleaning supplies. And some public pools might not be able to open this summer, but a new website might be able to keep your plans afloat. The site is called Swimply. It's like Airbnb, but for pools. It allows swimmers to connect with nearby pool owners and reserve a time to take a dip. The creator of Swimply says the average pool goes for about $45 an hour. All hosts are required to follow CDC guidelines for disinfecting and virus safety. Well, thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. Our next newscast is tonight at 11. See you then.